What is going on, guys? It's your boy Chris here. I'm back with another video. This is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be kind of political, but not really. It's going to be about something political that really shouldn't be political. Um, but life sometimes calls for that shit. Um, so up and coming WWE superstar Oba Femi was on the What's Your Story podcast with Stephanie McMahon and her co-host. And he made mention, she asked him the question, who inspires you? And he said, guys like Joe Rogan, guys like Elon Musk. And people have been losing their shit about this. What they're forgetting that he said in the context of the conversation was not necessarily that he agrees with them now, currently, with their current stances on stuff, but he said it in regards to people who achieved big dreams, or people who dreamed big and then went out and made it happen. That's what he was talking about. And in that context, that makes sense. Joe Rogan went from a stand-up comic and UFC commentator to having one of the biggest podcasts on the planet. Elon Musk had a bit more of a head start. He was a Nepo baby, but he does own Tesla, which is one of the biggest companies in the world, and he owns X, which is where a lot of people started coming after me for my statement about this. Ironically, if you have a more high ground, why are you on Twitter? Know what I'm saying? But and he's the richest man, one of the richest people on the planet. So these people had dreams or had goals, and they worked hard. Well, more so Rogan than Elon, because fuck Elon. Rogan worked his ass off to get to where he is now. You can argue about his stance on things, and that's not the point that I'm trying to make. I will fully disclose, I do not support Elon Musk. I don't listen to Joe Rogan anymore. At one time, I did like Joe Rogan because it was a fun podcast. He does interesting interviews with people that you wouldn't normally see on shows like that. Like, he did something with the guy that talked about UFOs before they became news that we've actually had them around. He interviewed politicians like Bernie Sanders. He's had on like musicians, MMA fighters, Mike Tyson, people like that. And it's not like he has a varied group of people on his show. And he has very diverse discussions with these people. Now, when he started getting in that ivermectin and all that dumb shit, I stopped listening to it. Because I'm like, I don't know. He's not. People are going to die because of this shit. When he started going super into, supporting Trump, I stopped. I was no longer listening at that point anyway, so I didn't care. I'm like, he's a dumbass. And now that he's kind of turned on Trump, I still don't listen because he's a dumbass. Now, Oba Femi was not asked a follow-up. Do you still, support Joe Rogan or Elon Musk? Do you still like these people? He was not asked that follow-up because that's not a question that you would ask in that situation. It's just a who inspired you question, and he gave his answers in the context of people who had big, or either dreamed big, or had big dreams and worked to get to them, or achieved big dreams. That's what he was referring to. But because we live in a society currently where everything's political, it turned into that. And it really shouldn't have, because that's not what he was saying. He wasn't saying it to be political. He could have mentioned, Barack Obama, or I don't know, Bernie Sanders, or Bill Clinton, and people would have, on the other side, would have the opposite reaction. Be like, oh my God, he's a dumb lib. In this case, they're like, oh, he's MAGA. He's never talked about politics. At any point has he ever talked about his political leanings or his political beliefs. No one has asked Oba Femi his political leanings or his political beliefs. And if he did, he probably wouldn't. And if asked, he probably wouldn't answer because it's nobody's fucking business. Despite what everybody may think about what's right or wrong, people do have the right to their own political beliefs. Whether you agree with them or not is irrelevant. Their beliefs are theirs. That's just a fact. You can disagree with them. You can fight tooth and nail about those beliefs, but you can't tell them you can tell them they're wrong, but what does that do? It just starts an argument back and forth about something that maybe you know. It to me, like, everyone turning on him, it's like, why? It's not necessary in this case. Not in the context of the question he was asked and answer he gave. That this is dumb shit. It's fucking ridiculous that people are blowing up about this. And then the funny part is people are coming at me about my political leanings. And like, well, what do you stand on? If you go on my page and you see what I've said about politics, I leave no doubt where I stand. If you go on my social media, you know exactly where the fuck I stand on every issue. I don't hide it. It's very easy to see. But people saw what I posted saying, like, this is not, like, there's context to this and y'all are missing it. People coming at me like, Democratic Socialist, how's that going for you? Actually, it's going quite well. Because I know what a Democratic Socialist is. Clearly you don't. Or people saying, keep enjoying your MAGA coded company when the Khan family donated to the Trump campaign. So, pot kettle. You know what I'm saying? Like, the McMahons never made a big deal out of it. They just did it. The Khans didn't make a big deal out of donations. They just did it. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, people are going to donate to who more aligns with their ideas. Or if you're rich, you're going to vote Republican because they give you tax breaks. I mean, it makes sense from a financial standpoint to vote that way because they're going to hook you up. Like, duh. If I were rich, if I were a billionaire, I would support tax cuts for me too. But I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do understand how that works, right? But anyway, that's the whole thing. And people losing their shit about Oba Femi. It's like, guys, come on. Like, have some sense and think about the context of what he said. Look at the whole statement about what he said and why he said it, instead of focusing on who he said it about. Like, just have a fucking brain cell is the best way I can put it. And that's the nicest way I'm going to say it. Because there were a couple people this morning that I already had to, tell to, suck my balls. I'm just I'm done with being nice about this shit with people. I've been going through a bit of a rough time. I'm not in the mood for anybody's nonsense. I will quickly tell you to go fuck yourself at this point. I have no fucks left to give. I really don't. Literally, I have been on a you can suck my dick since Monday. I'm not, this is not the week to test me. This is not the time to test me as far as trying to be funny or trying to be a smartass. I will fucking pop your bubble real fucking quick. And then I'll get the last word. Then I'll just block you. I'll be like, go fuck yourself. Block. Suck my dick. Block. How about you hug my balls? Block. That's what I've been doing. I'm not in the mood for going back and forth with people about this stuff. I'm really not. I'm not. This is not the time to do that with me. So I'm literally like I said, There's context to what Oba Femi said, period. If you do not understand the context of what he's saying and what it meant, that is a you problem, not a me problem, and not an Oba Femi problem. Because he's going to go on and do what he's doing. And all you people who are like, oh, I can't support Oba now, you can still support him. You can still like the guy. He's done nothing to anyone for anyone to turn on him. It's not like he pulled a Ricochet this week. Like, Ricochet, if everyone turning on him, is justified. He deserves every bit of smoke he's getting. Now, let me be clear, the death threats his wife has been getting, not cool. Death threats are never okay. Death threats are never cool, and definitely death threats to someone who said nothing wrong are not cool. We don't do that. We shouldn't be doing that. No one should be doing that. But people dragging Ricochet, whether he apologized or not, because again, his apology was bullshit. He didn't mean it, and that came out this week to where he was like, yeah, someone told me I should take it down. And then he took it down, and then he issued an apology. He didn't mean it. He didn't mean his apology. I said it then, and I'll say it now. He didn't mean what he said when he apologized. And this whole thing this week proved it. He didn't mean it. He meant not a word of that shit. And that's the point. He is a clown. He is a circus clown. And again, like I said, and there's another part to this too that I want to touch on. This whole week, I want to touch on real quick. Because there's been this whole thing about the whole MS thing. Have you donated to charity? Then shut the fuck up. That's not how shit works. For people saying, oh, did you donate to charity to stand up for that woman? People stood up for that woman that Ricochet talked about by calling Ricochet out for the piece of shit he is. For saying what he said to her in the first place. That was standing up for Sandy, the woman he talked about. Calling him out on his behavior was standing up for her. Donating to charity, that's doing the next step up. And like going above and beyond. And it's a good thing that people are doing that. It's a good thing that people are doing that. And that they're putting their money where their mouth is. That's a good thing. Now, some people are doing that for clout. Because they're doing it and then they're posting about it. Real people who do donations normally don't post up that they did it. They just fucking do it. Most people don't make a big deal out of it. They just fucking do it. Most people don't want recognition for donating to charity. They just fucking do it. I know anytime I've donated to charity, I just fucking did it. It'd be like, hey, do you want your name on this? Nah. Or, I'll give an example of this. Just personal example. During Hurricane Katrina, when I worked down in Fells Point, I believe it was working in Fells Point during that time. Was I down there then? Yeah, I was down there. We were doing a donation drive. And one night, I took my tips from that night and just put the whole wad in the donation jar. It was at the end of the night. Nobody was really around. I just took it out of my pocket, took my tips out of my pocket, put it in, and went home. Nobody really even knew I did it. I don't think anybody saw me do it. I don't care if anybody did see me do it. But I had like $200 in tips that night. But I put it all in there. Because that's what you do. If you really are about helping people that really need it. And I knew like the people that were affected by Katrina needed it. And any little bit helped. And I went to work that day. Like whatever tips I get, I'm going to donate. Because I knew we were doing the thing. So whatever I make, I'm going to put it in the jar, and that's going to be the end of it. Whatever it is, I don't care what it is. And I just put the whole thing in there, and I went home. Because that's how you do a donation. You don't do it for like publicity. You don't do it for clout. You do it because it's the right thing to do. Like if you see somebody on the street that's like asking for change or asking for food, you don't put a camera in their fucking face and like, hey man, I got this for you, bro. God bless you, man. You don't do that. You don't put a camera in their face. In my case, I've gone in and just bought like whatever and just came out and gave it to them. Like, hey, here, man, here's a sandwich and a water. You know, this is for you. If they have a dog with them, I'd get 2 bottles or get like a giant bottle of water. And like, hey, do you have a bowl or something for them? No, I'll be right back. And I would get like a thing of like little paper bowls and give it to them. Like, here, use this to give the dog water. Or I'd go back in and get another big bottle of water. Like, this is for you and your dog. Because I've seen that. That's how you do it. And you don't do it for like, you don't put a camera in somebody's fucking face who's on the street. If you want to help them, you just fucking do it. But the people that stood up for that woman and called Ricochet out for what he said, that was standing up for her. That was being in her corner. It doesn't take money or a donation to stand up and do what's right by somebody. Sometimes just saying, yo, fuck off is enough. And I'm sure that Sandy saw the people who were saying, yo, fuck this dude. And said, nah, fuck you, dude, you're wrong for that. I'm sure everyone that she saw doing that, or reposting his tweet and saying, this dude's a dick. I'm sure if she saw any of that, that did her more good than donations to a charity. Because that shows that she wasn't alone. And that people do have her back in her struggle. Like when someone's going through something, sometimes people do stuff just to help you out. And they don't do it for clout. They don't do it for publicity. They do it because they're good people. And they care about people. I've experienced that myself in the past couple weeks. Firsthand. So, yeah, y'all gotta stop. And here's another thing. One more thing on all this. Politicizing entertainment is just a terrible idea. Because if you do that, you're not going to have a lot you can watch or enjoy in life. Because companies donate to politicians you may not agree with. Companies, like, do it all the time. It's a part of life. If you hold everyone to this weird standard of who they support or who they vote for, as far as entertainment goes, instead of turning your brain off and just enjoying the show, you're not going to enjoy your life. That's not how I want to live. I choose not to live that way because that's insanity. It's fucking crazy to do that. But again, that's just my perspective on it. That's my point. That's my view. If you don't agree, you're welcome to not agree. But for real, like, y'all are being weird about Oba, dude. Like, chill the fuck out. You gotta, like, look at the context of what he was saying. You don't have to agree with, you don't have to like what he said, but there's context to what he said that you're just ignoring for the sake of like putting the politics. And it's like that's not, this wasn't a political thing. It was an answer to a simple question about people who inspired you coming up. And when you're young and you see a guy go from like stand up comic and UFC commentator to the biggest podcast in the world, one of the biggest podcasts on the planet, that's an inspiring story if you really look at Joe Rogan's background. Like legit, if you look at Joe Rogan's story, it's actually really crazy how he got from point A to point B. There is an inspiration in his story or in his journey. And that's what Oba Femi was saying. Like I said, and I know I'm focusing on Rogan more than Elon, because Elon was a Nepo baby, and I don't count him as an inspiration necessarily. I'm focusing more on the Rogan aspect because Rogan's story is a lot different. It's a lot different. And his road from where he started to where he is now is wild. It really is if you stop and think about it. But that's all I got for this. Like people need to, Jesus Christ, man. People gotta chill the fuck out. Anyway. Like chill the fuck out about On Oba. Stop sending death threats to people. If you're gonna donate something, just fucking donate and don't make a big fucking deal out of it. Just, Jesus Christ. I was trying to be just a normal. It was a normal Saturday. It was supposed to be, and then like this shit. Like, I don't know, man. People need to fucking chill out. Anyway, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Peace.